Welcome back to Star Wars United, where we talk about the good, the bad, and the Wookiees of Star Wars. This video is going to kick off a series of character analysis that I would like to do, and it's going to focus on characters in their canon appearances, their Legends appearances, the movies, comic books, TV shows, video games, pretty much everything we have available about these characters. And I want to focus on not just the main players of Star Wars, but some of the deep cuts, the video game characters, the legends, the one shot comics. So it's going to be a fun ride. And at the end of each video, I will be giving a rating on a scale of 1 to 10 of their character. And that's obviously, it's subjective, but it's going to help us paint a picture of which characters may need future development or to be brought back from the dead, not literally, Grand Inquisitor. But it's going to give us an idea of some directions that Star Wars can go in the future. And we're going to kick this off with the main character of Star Wars. Let's go ahead and get it out the way because we all know that Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker, because in essence they are the same character, Darth Vader is Star Wars. The first thing that you think about when you think about Star Wars is probably Darth Vader, especially if you were one of the ones that grew up back in the 70s with the original trilogy. Darth Vader was a symbol of the ultimate evil, one of the most iconic villains ever to grace film, and he's remained such a prominent pop culture figure that even all these years later, we still regard Darth Vader with the same amount of fear and respect that we did when he first stepped onto that cruiser in A New Hope back in 1977. So let's talk about Vader. Vader started off as Anakin Skywalker, a small child from the remote planet of Tatooine. He was a slave to Watto the junk dealer. And we all know Anakin's story. You know, incredible with the Force, wins the pod race. Qui-Gon Jinn decides to take him into the Jedi Order and train him. A choice that may be controversial based on his actions later on. But regardless of that, the most prominent part of Darth Vader's story is obviously his redemption. He makes these terrible, terrible choices to save the things that he loves, the woman that he loves, his future children, and he loses himself in the process. And ultimately, he loses everything that he thought he was fighting so hard to save. And it is a tragic story, and ultimately it is the love and compassion of his son that brings him back in the end. And he defeats the ultimate evil in the Emperor, and he redeems himself as he sacrifices his own life and gives himself into the Force in order for his son to move on and rebuild. The story of Anakin, covers a lot of the main problems that the pressure and the burden of being a hero can face. I mean, if you look at Anakin and his deeds in the prequels and the Clone Wars, I mean, this dude was a legend. I mean, he was fearless, he was cunning. As Obi-Wan said, he was a great warrior and a great friend. And he left that legacy on so many people that his fall to the dark side was not something that people really wanted to think would ever happen. There were always signs there of his aggression and things like that, but Darth Vader's story even goes deeper in the comics. The Vader comics actually are a really good read. I do recommend any of the Vader comics because they really illustrate the fear and the ultimate anguish that he pushed upon other characters. Just really solid character. The story of Anakin is the story of Star Wars, of hope, love, and redemption. And for that reason, we're going to give Vader a 9.5. I mean, it's hard to get any better than just this ultimate story of the fall from grace, coming back, You know, you have the duality of Anakin, who is this, you know, this troubled young man, but he becomes this magnificent Jedi. And then you have the fear and terror of Darth Vader as he becomes ruthless and, you know, follows the Emperor's bidding is for many years and until he's ultimately redeemed. So Vader gets a 9.5. See you next time. And as always, let's blow that like button and go home.